The piano that played our love story. On a quiet street in Charleston, South Carolina, there was a small music cafe where an old grand piano stood beside a large window. Every Friday evening, Ethan Reynolds, a 32-year-old pianist, played there before the cafe closed. He never looked at the audience, he only closed his eyes and let the music speak. One rainy Friday, while finishing his final song, he noticed someone applauding long after everyone else had stopped. A young woman stood near the window, holding a bouquet of white lilies. She smiled. That song felt like someone remembering their first love. Ethan smiled back. Maybe it was. Her name was Sophia Bennett, a 28-year-old florist who owned a tiny flower shop across the street. She admitted she had never missed one of his Friday performances. "I always close my shop early just to hear you play." Ethan laughed softly. "And I thought no one stayed until the last song." From that evening on, a quiet tradition began. Every Friday, Sophia left a single white lily on top of the piano before Ethan arrived, and every Friday, Ethan played one new melody just for her. No words, only flowers and music. As the seasons changed, so did their hearts. After each performance, they wandered through Charleston's cobblestone streets, sharing coffee, dreams, and laughter under the glow of old street lamps. One evening, Sophia confessed, "When you play the piano, it feels like you're saying everything people are too afraid to say." Ethan looked at her and whispered, "That's because the most beautiful words are sometimes played, not spoken." Months later, Ethan received an invitation to perform on an international concept tour across Europe. It was the opportunity he had dreamed about since childhood. But accepting it meant leaving for nearly a year. On the night before his decision, the cafe owner secretly decorated the piano with hundreds of white lilies. Sophia walked in and froze. Ethan sat at the piano. He played a melody Sophia had never heard before. When the final note faded into silence, he stood and opened the piano lid. Inside, instead of sheet music, was a small velvet ring box. He took Sophia's hand. "The first flower you left on this piano became my favorite memory. I've played countless songs in my life, but you're the only melody I never want to end." He knelt on one knee. "Sophia Bennett, will you write the rest of our love story with me?" Tears filled her eyes. She smiled and nodded. "Yes, but promise me one thing. Anything. No matter where your music takes you, always save the last song for me." 1 year later, after returning from his tour, Ethan and Sophia were married inside the same little music cafe. Instead of a first dance, Ethan played the piano while Sophia slowly walked toward him with a single white lily in her hands. When the song ended, the entire cafe stood in silence before bursting into applause. Above the piano, a small golden plaque was placed forever. It read, "Some love stories begin with a single note and last for a lifetime." And every Friday evening, visitors still noticed a fresh white lily resting quietly on the piano. A simple reminder that true love is the most beautiful song ever written.